What up, my jammers? What's up? If you're anything like me, Jazzy Army, being a good Samaritan gets tiring sometimes. I know, personally, I'm a bit of a philanthropist. As you probably all know, I teach Arabic to gay little Chinese boys, but I'm tired of being a good person. Who's paying me to be a good person? That's why I've conducted an experiment. I followed a woman home in the dead of night, and let me tell you, Jazzy Army, I found the perfect person to do this experiment on. The perfect person, but finding the perfect subject wasn't easy. I started out by looking in the park. I was hiding in the bushes, not being a freak, because this was the science. And I was in the bushes, and I was looking at people, and I found a beautiful woman with grey locks of hair. Every day she stands in the park, right in the centre, and she has no nerves whatsoever. She just stands there still, looking proud, posing. And I observed this woman for hours, taking notes, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to follow this woman when she leaves home. And I waited, and I waited, and it got dark, and when the park ranger went around and said, hey, what are you doing in the bushes? We need to close. We're about to lock up. And I said, what about her? What about that woman over there who's standing really still? And he said, oh, mate, that's a statue. So I didn't do the experiment on the statue. Instead, I started prowling the streets. But on my way, I ran into a homeless guy. Well, I didn't run into him as much as I walked past him and ignored him. But as I was walking past, he saw the back of my head, and I realised I have long hair. And it said, excuse me, miss, can you spare some change? I was misgendered by a homeless man. And listen, right, I don't mind if he assumes I'm a girl. It doesn't offend me. When I saw him, I assumed he had a house. So we were both in the wrong, really. But he corrected himself. He said, sorry, sir. And that's, I just want to know if you have any spare change. And I said, no. And he said, you don't? What about that £1 coin you've got in your hands right there? And I said, oh, this £1 coin? I need it to get the trolley out at Lidl. And he said, oh, okay then. But what about that £5 note in your other hand? And I said, oh, sorry, mate, I can't give you that. I need us to get the trolley out at Waitrose when I do, when I don't. And that's when he started to get angry at me, Jazzy Army. He said, listen here, sir, don't you know that if you're not a good person in this life, in the next, you could be reborn as a wasp? And I said, what? Two things. First of all, that sounds freaking awesome. Secondly, I don't believe in reincarnation. I used to. But then I died and became someone who didn't. So you're not making a very persuasive argument, Mr. Homeless Man. But it got me thinking again about what it means to be a good person. Why was I out at night trying to find a woman to follow home as an experiment when I could be at home on Zoom teaching 12 Chinese gay boys Arabic? And that's because someone has to go where no scientist is willing to go to push the boundaries for science. So I continued to prowl around the town, Jazzy Army, until I found a suitable woman. I was in the town centre, and then in the town centre there was a woman there, a really tall woman, long brown hair, brown skin. It was another statue actually, brown. Bronze. So there was a woman behind that statue, and she started walking home, and that's when I started to follow her. Now, Jazzy Army, the key to following a woman home, if you want to do it successfully, is you've got to have an excuse. If they turn around and go, huh, hey, are you following me? You've got to have an excuse. Here are some good ones you can use. Number one, when they turn around and say, hey, are you following me? You quickly turn around as well, and you go, me following you? Why are you following me? Number two, you can go, wait, is this not the conga line? Boy, have I gotten lost. And number three, and this is my personal favourite, you can just go, and then they start to run, and that's when the process gets a lot quicker. You can also use that technique at a supermarket when the person in front of you is taking a bit too long to pay for their food. So I chose number three, and you can probably tell it didn't go very well. I went, and she started to run away. And she actually ran away, she was faster than me. And it was quite emasculating, actually. I ended up just walking home. On the way home, I slipped on a banana peel and hit my eye on a wheelie bin. And I've never felt less like a man. But what is being a man, Jazzy Army? Is it having muscles? Is it going Is it going to the gym? Is being a man having a cock and balls? But what does any of that mean if a crack-addicted homeless man sees you and thinks you're a woman anyway? I don't know a lot, Jazzy Army. I don't know how to follow a woman home for science. I don't know how to teach Chinese boys Arabic. I was lying. I don't even know how I got that job. And I don't know how to get views on YouTube, very clearly. But I do know this, Jazzy Army. If anyone ever tells you to be a man, to act like a man, they are telling you to do something. But if you are just being yourself, you don't have to do anything. You just are you. So, Jazzy Army, be yourselves. Unless you are a predator, in which case you should probably seek help. Hooray!